What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on some comments that Amar'e Stoudemire made um, when he was talking about. Now, somebody asked him about the league and the current state of the league as far as the competitiveness, right? And he said, in his opinion, and I'm gonna play the audio, but he basically said that he thinks that the league is soft now, right? That players don't go at each other, they don't go hard at each other like he's used to doing it. And so, they basically just want to look cool. And it's more so now about finesse than it was about, power, right? And I remember watching Amare Stoudemire playing. He definitely was not a finesse basketball player. He definitely, every time he dunked, he tried to pull that rim down right. So, and he played hard, and so that was the era. He was used to that. Now, in this era right here, everybody says that this is the LeBron James era. So anytime you anytime somebody makes a criticism of this era, the first person that everybody think about is LeBron James. Like that's a reflection of LeBron James, and rightfully so. Right when you think about how basketball used to be played, before the LeBron James era, then you don't you wouldn't compare LeBron James or see LeBron James as somebody who played the way Amare Stoudemire played. And the guys who played before Amare Stoudemire, you know, that's just not LeBron James' game. And I think a lot of what goes on now in the NBA is just basically a reflection of LeBron James. The flopping. Now I'm not saying that he invented flopping, but the game, the load managing. And again, he didn't invent load managing. But when you see somebody who is the face of the league, low, low, low managing, then it is it's a reflection of that person who's the face of the league. That's that's basically a charge that he has to take. And so I'm gonna play the audio of what Amare Stoudemire had to say about today's basketball players, and then I'm gonna come back and give some my input.
Over the past 10, 15 years in the NBA, look at it now and you're like, man, it kind of reminds me of a version of myself, something like that. If
I
so,
mean,
who are those players?
I look at players now. I'm trying to find the competitiveness because when I attack the rim, I don't care who's under the rim. You know what I'm saying? It was no second guessing, and I'm not your friend when I'm attacking the rim. So it was a different type of mindset that I had as a player. Even post injury, I still had the same mindset, still had the same ferociousness attacking the basket, and everyone else trying to toss it in nicely and finger roll and all the Euro step. I wasn't doing none of that. So I don't see a lot of guys in today's game that are like just taking off on guys, like really, applying dominance. But hopefully it happens soon because that's what we want as fans. We want to see the competitiveness. We want to see that, and hopefully we can find someone that does that soon. Giannis has a similar game when he attacked the rim. It's fun to watch, but I haven't really seen a lot of it.
You think the reason behind that? You think it's social media, some people are afraid to be on a poster, see the clips the next day. What do you think the root of that?
It's a finesse. Everyone wants to be a finesse. Everyone wants to be guards. Everyone wants to have, a certain type of persona and swag on the basketball court. They want to look cool. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where the game is headed now. Everyone's trying to be cool because of social media or whatever. They can post all this stuff. But when it boils down to it, it's about competing.
All right, so you heard him right. He says when it boils down to it, it's about competing. And when he mentioned like somebody that plays hard, that goes hard at people, and it's Giannis, right? And I thought Giannis was a good example because Giannis, answer to Cooper, Giannis definitely is not a finesse basketball player, And again, every time Giannis try to dunk the ball, every time he dunk the ball, man, he trying to pull the rim down. Giannis will give you an elbow. He'll run over you if he have to, man. It's just you like Giannis is definitely not a finesse player, right? And so that's what a lot of fans are used to. They want to see that competition. They don't want to see guys flopping, looking for calls, complaining about calls and stuff like that, man. And yeah, a lot of those guys, man, was soft. They definitely was soft. And I think the face of that, in my opinion, the face of that is just LeBron James, man. I think that is going to that right there is going to really follow him around. You know, and also competitiveness speaks to not wanting to team up with other great basketball players in order so you can try to dominate. That right there too. Also, I just think it just hurt the league far as competitiveness, man. And when he says that, man, and he don't, usually it's a way of pointing the finger at LeBron James without really pointing the finger at him, because none of the characteristics that Amare Stoudermire really brought up really pertain to LeBron James. They all basically, they pertain to guys who are more physical, guys who try to impose their dominance, right? And that's just not LeBron James. You know, it's just not. And in basketball, we were used to seeing Kobe Bryant play like that. Kobe trying to tear his opponent's heart out, man, just trying to demoralize him. Same thing with Mike, same thing with Isaiah, same thing with Magic and Bird, right? But this this era right here, man, like I said, it's just been basically about finesse. And I think the fact that Amari Stoudemire called them out, and hopefully that'll be enough to wake these guys up, man. Just say that, that's they're not playing basketball the correct way. I don't think so. But when I look at like this past championship series, I looked at the Knicks and I watched their style of play, and I watched the Spurs and their style of play. It just, to me, it just seems like things are getting back to the way they were. And I said this last year too about OKC. They were physical. A lot of people complain that OKC just beat people up, right? But they physical. They make you earn everything. Detroit, physical, they got Jalen Dern, and a couple other guys who what's the guy, Isaiah Stewart. They just not in the business of giving up layups. They're not in the business of, allowing you to just waltz down the lane. They trying to restrict your movement. Same thing with OKC. They got some guys at OKC who just not really gonna um they trying to restrict your movement. The Spurs the same way, the Knicks the same way. And so that, I think that this era right here, this soft era, I think, in my opinion, is just phasing out, because guys want to compete. They want to win. So if you have one guy in the league, the best or the face of the league, and he going hard like that, that's just going to raise the level of play with everybody, right? So you're not going to have because you won't be able to survive if you have stepping and you got somebody else who just giving it their all. You just they're going to eat you up. They're gonna eat you up. And so when you got this kid, Victor Wembanyama, coming to the All-Star game, and Victor playing, he played hard in the All-Star game. He just let it be known he here to play basketball, and that's what he gonna do. So I do think that this era of basketball, where they talk about being not competitive, not going, not really playing hard like that. I think that it's phasing out. And the reason it's phasing out is because, basically, to be honest, LeBron James is phasing out, right? And so I think we're about to the point where we're starting to get some really good basketball play, man. And yeah, I think that basketball, in my opinion, is on its way back. It's gonna make a comeback. And you know, I think a lot of the excitement is going to be back when it comes to you know, the level of competition, because people, you know, you're not just getting it from one team. You know, that guy Victor Wembanyama make you play hard. You know, and so do the Knicks. They make you play hard, and OKC, they make you play hard, man. So you know, you can't compete with those teams if you're going to be half stepping. So that's a good sign for the, you know, for the league. And so that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'm going to check y'all out in the next video. Peace.